South Africa stood still this week as two powerful figures, Julius Malema and Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, collided in a fiery exchange that has since set the entire nation ablaze. It wasn't just politics. It was raw emotion, pride, and power colliding in a single shocking moment that no one could ignore. Julius Malema, the outspoken leader of the economic freedom fighters, is no stranger to controversy. His voice carries the weight of rebellion, loud, unfiltered, and unapologetic. But this time, his words didn't just criticize. They cut like a blade. They were aimed directly at one of South Africa's most respected law enforcement figures, Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. The confrontation unfolded before cameras and flashing lights, turning what was supposed to be another routine parliamentary session into an explosive national moment. Malema, dressed in his signature red beret, pointed across the room, his tone rising with anger and conviction as he accused Mkhwanazi of failing the nation. South Africa is tired of men hiding behind uniforms while protecting corruption. Malema roared, his words echoing through the hall like a thunderclap. His eyes burned with defiance as he leaned into the microphone, refusing to hold back. Mkhwanazi, however, remained motionless. His face calm, his body still.
He didn't respond.
He didn't react. He didn't even frown. And that silence, that heavy, unbroken silence, spoke louder than Malema's voice could ever hope to. That moment of stillness shifted the room's energy. It was as if the air itself grew tense. The crowd, once buzzing with noise, fell silent. Every pair of eyes turned to Mkhwanazi, waiting for a reaction that never came. His restraint became a statement in itself, the quiet defiance of a man who refused to be dragged into chaos. For those who followed South African politics, this confrontation wasn't a surprise. It had been simmering for weeks. Tensions between political leaders and top police officials have been at boiling point ever since Mkhwanazi's explosive testimony before the Madlanga Commission, where he revealed evidence of political interference and internal sabotage within the police service. Malema's outburst came from frustration and timing. After weeks of shocking reports about corruption, cover-ups, and failed investigations, the EFF leader saw Mkhwanazi as a symbol of a system that had become complacent. For Malema, this was personal. It was about holding anyone, accountable for the rot eating away at South Africa's justice system. But for millions watching, this wasn't a story about blame. It was a story about dignity, composure, and restraint in the face of public humiliation. Mkhwanazi didn't need to speak to make his presence felt. His silence alone told a story of strength, endurance, and quiet confidence. Social media exploded instantly. Within minutes, #Malema attacks Mkhwanazi and #ScandalExplodes were trending nationwide. Some praised Malema's bravery, calling him the only politician willing to speak truth to power. Others called his behavior disrespectful and unnecessary, arguing that attacking a police general on live television was reckless and divisive. Videos of the exchange spread like wildfire across TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. The internet divided itself into two camps, those who saw Malema as a hero for accountability and those who saw Mkhwanazi as a symbol of true leadership through silence. And in the middle of that chaos, one undeniable truth emerged. This was more than just a verbal fight between two men. It was a clash between two visions of South Africa, one ruled by loud confrontation and the other led by disciplined restraint. For many South Africans, Mkhwanazi represents something rare, integrity within an institution long tainted by scandal. His image before the Madlanga Commission, bringing his own sealed water bottle instead of drinking what was offered, became symbolic of distrust and survival in a system many believe is poisoned from within. That one act, refusing the provided water, became an unspoken metaphor. It told citizens that even among the powerful, trust is a luxury. Mkhwanazi's awareness of danger made people see him differently, not as a mere official, but as a man who understood the weight of truth in dangerous times. Malema, however, thrives in confrontation. He has built his legacy on commanding attention, on saying what others are afraid to say. His fiery personality makes him both loved and feared. And in this case, that fire was directed squarely at Mkhwanazi. Did you expect this twist? That a political storm would emerge from a few words, and that silence would outshine rage? Political analysts described the exchange as one of the most powerful displays of emotional control in South African politics. One called it a masterclass in restraint. Another said it was a battle of two powers, the voice of anger and the silence of authority. For others, however, it highlighted something far deeper, the disconnect between the people and their leaders. Citizens watched two powerful men argue, yet many still wondered, will this change anything? Will the people's daily struggles, the poverty, the unemployment, the fear of crime, ever be addressed while leaders trade insults on national television? Online discussions became heated. Do our leaders care about us, or just their egos? One user wrote on X, echoing the frustration of thousands. How would your country respond if this happened live on national television? Would people cheer for passion, or respect the calm? Would they side with fire, or stand with silence? As the debate rages on, one truth stands firm. This moment changed the tone of South African politics. Mkhwanazi's silent strength became an unexpected symbol of leadership. Malema's fiery attack reminded everyone that accountability must never be silenced. Together, they exposed the deep tension between justice and politics that defines South Africa today. Even now, replay clips of the moment continue to dominate social feeds, sparking emotional discussions across dinner tables and workplaces. Everyone has an opinion, and that's exactly what makes this story so powerful. In the end, two men stood at opposite ends of a moral battlefield. One armed with words that burned like fire, the other armed with silence that calmed the storm. South Africa will remember this moment, not just for what was said, but for what wasn't. Because sometimes, silence is louder than any shout. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video, share it widely, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, subscribe for more powerful political stories from South Africa, where truth and power are always on trial.